Welcome everybody to our first ever review discussion. We'll be discussing King of Fighters 14 on the PS4. With me today, I have fighting game enthusiast and pro player Nidal.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Just right off the bat, Nib, what are your initial impressions of the game?
I always thought there was going to be a King of Fighters 14, even though 13, everyone thought it was going to be the last one. But when I saw the initial trailer in 3D, I wasn't very impressed. I was a little bit scared. But having seen a lot more of the game and actually owning it now, I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. I think there's still a long way to go because SNK definitely can pull more out the bag, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, my initial impressions were very much the same as yours. When I initially saw the 3D trailer, I was not impressed at all. It looked like a PS2 game. The visuals didn't look good at all. But now I've actually, I bought the game on the day of release. I like King of Fighters. I've played King of Fighters for a while. I love fighting games, so I bought the game more to support it rather than to actually I bought the game as a way to support SNK and King of Fighters rather than actually being sold on the game. But having put a fair bit of time into the game now, I'm actually really impressed with it. You quickly look past the visuals, and I mean that's the next thing I wanted to speak about was
the visuals.
Do you have other visuals that you initially saw? Is your impressions on the visuals the same after having played it for some time?
No, I think it's definitely. I think because people did like different comparisons between all the trailers. It's definitely improved, and I think what they first revealed of like Kyo and Iori fighting, that was really like pre-beta, the really early stages, and it's come a long way from then. And I feel that some characters look better than others due to the kind of art style that they've gone with. But I think overall, it's looking not too bad. And it's once you start playing, you kind of forget about it not looking as good as Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear. So yeah, visuals aren't too bad.
Yeah, I mean, Street Fighter was one of the other big fighting games that came out earlier this year. That took a visual change with Street Fighter 4, which came out, I don't know, like almost 10 years ago now, which went like basically 2.5D, which had 3D models on a 2D playing field. And I'm actually really encouraged by the step that KOF has taken. I think the KOF 13 was absolutely gorgeous with the sprites.
Yeah.
But I think they invested a lot of money in those, and it took a lot of time to get those visuals right. And I would imagine it probably wasn't sustainable for them to continue on that path. I think it's probably slightly more economical for them to go with these types of visuals. So, yeah. Moving on anyway, what did you think about the overall game mechanics? I think there's a few mechanics in the game which are new. We have the max mode, which is brand new for this series, which is effectively a character can use up a bar, one super bar, and press light, kick, and heavy punch, I believe, and they can go into a mode called max mode where they can do a certain amount of EX moves. EX moves are not done throughout a match now. They can only be done during the max mode, and that mechanic in itself is brand new to KOF, and I really like that mechanic. What are your experiences with it?
Yeah, I think they've had a similar mode. I don't know if what it was called in King of Fighters 13, where you can kind of do the similar sort of things, and I think that's a good mechanic to have because it adds the level of depth that pro players need and want in a fighting game. And on that point, they've also got a rush mode where you just press square, which is, I think, although some people might find that a bit silly, I think it's good for the beginners because a lot of people get a new fighting game, they've got nowhere, to start, and it kind of helps to have an easy way to get yourself into the game where you can see that, okay, this is what is potentially possible if I learn the game. So I think it's a good way to ease in newcomers, because a lot of other games alienate the new people who pick up the game and want to play it.
Yeah, the rush mode is really good for learning when you can punish moves on block and so on. So that is a really nice feature that they've added. The rush mode, I mean, to stress, it'll only take you so far. You still have to get that first hit in with the light punch, and if you rely on it as a player, you can get hit a ceiling very quickly. You will still need to know what is going on in the actual fight and when you can use it. But I agree totally. It's a really nice feature. They also added another mechanic in the game, which was not a new mechanic, but it's a really nice mechanic, I think, which is the super cancel, advanced cancel, and then you have a max cancel, which is basically where you can cancel your super into the next super, into a more powerful super. And KOF for me has always been so fun, because you can do just ridiculous combos for like massive amounts of damage, and you could go on forever. It's almost like a hybrid of like Street Fighter and Marvel in some aspects, where Marvel has these ridiculously long combos that you can do, which are so fun, and Street Fighter, which is much more of a grounded and fundamentals game. KOF is just like it's very rush heavy game where you're on the attack all the time. So to reward that rush feature with these long fun combos which do massive amounts of damage is so good.
Yeah.
And it also adds a level of tactics to KOF, I believe, where unlike Street Fighter, which is just basically a one-on-one fight, KOF is a 3-on-3 fight in its core gameplay, and it becomes a tactical decision of who you put as your third fighter, as your anchor, as they call it, and who you want to spend the most bars with, so dealing the most amount of supers. So some characters that are really popular in the third position are like Geese, which has he's got a really powerful level 3 super, and very often you're left with Geese in the third position with 5 bars where you can do massive amounts of damage using the super cancels, max cancels. Really fun mechanic. And
yeah, definitely. I think the main point to take from it is it's really fun to play. One of the problems I have with some other fight is I think run is really important. I think having that run makes it kind of the flexibility and the movement a lot easier to get into when you can run around. You can different types of jumps. You got hops. You got lots of different things. I think that makes it a lot. Adds a lot of fun to the gameplay. So I think the overall game mechanics are really good in this one.
Yeah. I mean, those the super jumps, hop jumps have been a staple for KOF for so long now. And as a amateur like base level player myself, who really doesn't play KOF with much competence, it's quite fun to see high level players play KOF and use the movements with the characters to such a masterful degree. It's really fun to watch. Segueing to the characters in the game. I think there's like 51 characters, I think, including the bosses.
51, yeah.
So it's like massive roster. I mean, what are your? I think I can't remember at the top of my head how many characters are brand new to the KOF
quite a few, yeah. To KOF 14, there's quite a few actually. I think there's at least maybe 12 new characters.
Yeah.
And I was surprised they put that many new characters, and there seem to be quite a few good ones, and
there's quite a few eccentric ones. I really like that.
That guy with the big eyes, I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
Pops in his sleeve and then breaks it back. And he's quite creepy. But yeah, I think they got a good mix of fan favorites. There's a lot of people want Geese. Obviously want Kyo Yuri. So I think they catered to a lot of people like needs, and they just rely on all the classic characters. They actually made some new ones and ones that people actually like. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the choices that they made on characters.
And it's so, I mean, that's it's really important for a fighting game to have a balance between each of the characters. I mean, it's alright having 51 characters, but then if you have, especially at competitive level, at a high level, if you don't have balance, then and you only have like 9 characters that are viable at a level, it sort of becomes an issue when you have 42 characters that are not viable. But KOF does a really great job of making all the characters viable. All the characters are good. All the characters have like hard-hitting combos, have good fundamentals, have really good strategies that they can adopt. I know there's one or two characters which are sort of, I know SNK or somebody from SNK's communities actually said that, I think, correct me on the pronunciation, I think Nakamura, I think her name is.
Yeah, Nakamura, yeah.
They're going to review her because I think she's a little bit broken at the moment.
Yeah.
She's like really, really powerful right now. So, but I think that's really impressive. Having 51 characters in the game and having all of them balanced and power, like even on an even playing field is really, really good job. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, I was saying, I think they did a good job, and I don't know if they're gonna do DLC characters or not, but with 50 characters, I don't think they need to rush into doing that.
I think a few balance tweaks, if they just have like maybe like classic costumes as a DLC, that could be a good idea, or some stage. I mean, there's a ton of stages as well.
Yeah, that's one for every team, I think.
Yeah, so that's just, there's a lot of content. I mean, don't really want to compare it to other games, trying to review it on its own merits, but comparing it to Street Fighter V at release, which was pretty bare bones, SNK really, in comparison, and knocked it out the park to some extent in terms of what they gave to us at release. So, have you? I'm assuming you've been in the story with one of the teams.
Yeah, I've been in with a couple of teams. Yeah.
So, what did you think of the overall story?
I think this new guy, Antonov, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a strange boss, but I mean, the final boss, I think it's Verse is the name.
Yeah.
That's like, it's kind of your typical SK boss, but I think in terms of the story, it's not up to scratch with what they normally produce. I haven't played all the teams, so I don't know what all the different endings were, but I think 13 and KOF 11 has some really good stories in there, and it's a bit disappointing that it's not kind of building on that, because I think the next story in King of Fighters is supposed to be about Kenso and the dragon something, so they haven't really done much with it. But I think with the next game they probably build on that, because it's normally 3 games that have like a story. It's like a trilogy, and by the 3rd game you have like the really big boss. So maybe this is just a build up, because they did say Verse is going to come back in one of the endings, so it could be just the starting of something that's going to be quite good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a story guy in terms of fighting games, but King of Fighters lore has always interested me. I really liked Orochi Saga. I forgot which number of King of Fighters that was, but that was a really fun saga that they had, and it's sort of like a mix between like a classic anime and a fighting game. I really, really love that. And this story mode in this game was just like, I don't know what was going on really. It was just like this Street Fighter style person just hosting a tournament with some random belt, and then like one cutscene there was like Nakamura who's just like being attacked in a field with some purple energy, and then all of a sudden the tournament was being disrupted at the end, and then you were going against this weird creature at the end. So I completed it with the Japanese team. I think that's the Japanese team with Kyo, Benimaru,
So.
and Daimon.
Yeah.
And I think the story, the ending, that I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I wasn't too impressed with that ending. That story mode is actually playing in the background of this review. If anybody is interested in watching that story, but I also beat it with Yuri. What is his team name? Yagami.
I guess so. Yeah.
So Yuri.
Vice and mature.
Yeah, who's the Vice and mature? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And that story ending was a little bit better. There's quite a nice scene at the end, throwback to one of the other KOF games. Yeah, so going.
Normally in the KOF, you have to play like all the endings because there's like different pieces of the jigsaw, and they even have special team endings where if you play, well, in previous games, you play like Kyo, Yuri, Shizuru. It's like they're not normally a team, but if you put them as a team, there's like a special ending for that, and that's actually the main ending that you want. And I think, I don't know if they've got that in this game, but I think we need to play all the endings to kind of get a feel for the story before we can completely give a final verdict on it. But I think there's probably going to be some bad ones, and there's probably going to be some good ones.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to get your thoughts on was, have you played any games online?
I tried to, but no one was online, or because that was on the day it came out. So
yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I was the only one who had the game at that point, or it's just a bad time. But I haven't had a chance. But I've heard some mixed things.
Yeah, so I've actually put in quite a few games. I think I've played about 70 games in total online. So I had the same experience as you, which is when you're matchmaking, you can search region same or region all, and every time, I don't know if it's me or my NAT code or whatever, but every time I search region same, it finds no match whatsoever. And when I search region all, it does find a match. I'm finding I've had a mixed experience, 50-50 really. Half of my games have been really smooth and half of my games have been pretty laggy, and that's because I'm pretty sure that I'm connecting to people either in the US or far parts of Europe, or God forbid Asia or something, or South America, which is why my connections have been so varied. But I'm really actually optimistic about the future of KOF 14 because of the online, the netcode that they've actually built into the game. They released a patch, I think, a week ago, which improved online, and there was a tangible difference between pre-patch and post-patch to the online function. And I'd say this much: when KOF functions online and is smooth, it is so fun. It is so fun. I mean, I get beat down a lot. I think I've got a terrible percentage win rate. It's like 20% or something like that. I'm really not good, but it's so fun to play because you don't feel cheated. That's the one thing I like about KOF. Like when you lose because you either made some bad decisions or you didn't punish, or it's like you didn't get cheaped out. But in KOF, it's so fun online when it works.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend you play that.
Yeah, I'm definitely try that.
Yeah. Did you have any things that you wanted to discuss before we wrap it up?
Just I guess the future of SNK. I hope that, I mean, the game's got lots of good reviews. Most reviewers giving it 8 and above, which is a good sign for the future of SNK, because I definitely like the company. They've made loads of games that I really like. So I hope that this can be the start of many more future SNK games. Mark of the Wolf, Samurai Showdown. The list goes on. So hopefully, this is a sign of things to come, and that they work on the graphics and they work on the bits that they haven't had the chance. But I think this is definitely a really fun game that I really enjoyed. So
Do you think we'll see a?
Like, say that again. That
No,
cut
I
out.
don't think so.
Cut,
I
no,
think
it cut out when you said, "Do you think something?" Says start from. Do you think something? What you said because it cut out again.
I'm back.
Do you think we'll ever see a SNK versus Street Fighter?
not anytime soon. I think until Tekken versus Street Fighter comes out.
That's never coming out.
They said it's after Akuma coming in Tekken 7. I think it's possible that it's gonna happen. But if that comes out, then there might be a chance, but not anytime soon.
No chance. That's been in the. I mean, this is going to tangent, but Street Fighter Cross Tekken was.
It was announced like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it came out and it died. Like.
Yeah, it's because apparently they leaked Tekken 7 because they wanted to release Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but yeah. But yeah, so what were your thoughts on King of Fighters and the future?
Yeah, I'm really optimistic. I think they really hit it out of the park in terms of like what they gave us as a product out of the box. I really like the characters. The balancing is really good. The mechanics of the game are awesome. Like I've played maybe 12 or 13 characters in terms of like trying to learn them, and it's so fun to learn the combos. I want to get better. And yeah, I'm really optimistic. I'm looking forward to what they have. Hopefully there'll be an Evo next year. I'm following the scene, the King of Fighters scene in the fighting game community. I'm watching. I think they had a East Coast Throwdown this past weekend, which is. I encourage everybody who hasn't seen that to watch some of the finals because KOF or high level is so fun to watch.
Actually, yeah. Well, one question. Who's your team at the moment? Who's your dream? Who you maining?
So I've leaned towards Yuri, which I love Yuri as a character.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, like I just love his style. He's so emo that it's like so good. Dotsa. But I really love him. I play with Yuri as first, then I play King. It's the female character, and then I play with Mai. And Mai is not a. Mai is
no
not
Mai,
a,
no Mai.
That's not the obvious reason why I'm playing Mai. I actually really like her.
Yeah,
the way she fights. For me, like my execution skills for KOF are not very high, so I try to play characters that I can have like a couple of basic combos and where I can play more fundamentals like fireball, zoning. It's not really KOF style, but Mai has a fireball, King has a fireball, and Yuri's just like one of my all-time favorite KOF characters. So that team works quite well with me. What about you?
I'm trying to learn Geese, Nelson. I think that's his name, the boxer, South American boxer, and Robert at the moment, just to have one person that I kind of used to. But yeah, it's there's so many good characters to play with, and which makes it really fun.
Yeah. So just giving it a rating, what would you give it out of 10?
Probably give it an 8. I think there's definitely room for improvement, but it's a really fun game with lots of characters, and I know I'm going to get lots of hours of gameplay out of it. So yeah, I think 8 out of 10 is probably what I'd give it.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I'd definitely give it a solid 8. I mean, it's a great fighting game for everybody, for newcomers and veterans. It's just got everything for everybody. So. That about wraps it up, guys. So that was our review discussion for KOF 14. Pick it up, check it out. If you like the footage in the background, totally encourage you to go play. I think the demo is still on the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Marketplace. So yeah, check it out. Support the fighting game community. Support KOF and support 5 Geeks and Freaks by hitting that subscribe button. Yeah.
Yeah, drop
Alright.
us a like, a comment about who your favorite characters, and yeah, stay tuned for more.
Peace.
Peace.